Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 6, Episode 12. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you are back for a 12th time, then thank you for coming back. I hope y'all are not just searching for the video and you are actually subscribed. Please do not hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you get anything out of the content. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all know that I am a goof troop, okay? Y'all know I am goofy, and when I tell y'all I hollered through and through to the brink of tears on this episode. Oh, child, baby, this episode was good to me. I watched it thrice. Not one time, not two times, but 3 times. Because, child, it was just that funny to me, honey. It was hilarious. And, child, we're going to get into it as we get into it. 10s across the board. Let's go. When the episode first opens up, the little Gucci car pulls up to the Etch-a-Sketch house. And, you know, they're doing more work and whatnot. Child, ain't nothing can be done, okay? Now, it's a Hotel Gizelle. Okay. She's trying to paint this picture of the Ritz-Carlton, honey, knowing it's going to look more like the Motel 6. Okay, she's like, I'm going to put a chandelier up there. Girl, just say we'll leave the light on for you. Moving forward, Robyn calls and they start talking about the reasonably shady podcast party that they're having in the dirt. So she starts saying Karen isn't invited in her house and neither is Wendy. Girl, they probably don't want to be invited in, honey. And if you're not going to invite them in to use the toilet, honey, then why invite them? You probably don't want to invite them because you know that restroom isn't done. And you know those two will gather you up and down, okay? So then Robyn goes, if we are inviting Wendy and Karen, we are not going to be treating them differently. I'm not down for that. Well, child, I'm sure they don't want to come in. I'm sure they rather wear Depends, okay? Get back to your life with Depends. Y'all remember that commercial? Child, it's a mess. Since we're going with the theme of reasonably shady, honey, I'm just going to keep with the theme throughout this review, okay? Keep up with me, moving forward. But anywho, honey, at least Robyn finally stood up for something, honey. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, especially with Gizelle. In the next scene, over at the Grand Dames, this lady brings over the Bohemian candle, and she's talking all close, all up in Karen's face in the midst of a pandemic. Oh, child, back up, honey. Give me at least 6 feet, okay? So the candle looks really nice. Good job, Karen and whatnot. I guess it's no longer in the discovery phase or whatever Karen be doing over there. And she said, you know, I'm excited to show the other ladies. I kind of mentioned it to Mia and Wendy. No, you didn't kind of mention it to Mia and Wendy. Ray got up there and was like, I'm going to let you finish, but don't forget to tell them about the candles. That's exactly how it happened. She's like, but I am excited to show the other ladies my candle. So then she shades Wendy's Airwick 1-wick candle and says, you know, it'll be best for her to start with e-commerce. Well, let me tell you something, Karen. Let me get you together real quick. Don't shade e-commerce, okay? Because when the world shut down, businesses had to pivot. And it proved that the future is e-commerce, honey, because I'm about to start me a good old e-commerce business in a minute. Hope y'all support me. That's just a side note. But anywho, your candle being at TJ Maxx and Home Goods and wherever else is nice as well, honey. But don't do poor Wendy like that, girl. The future is e-commerce. Moving forward. Ray and Karen, they're outside in the back when Ray gets a shady text message with a picture attached to it with this girl's age saying she's 25 and stuff like that. And Karen is like, who is that? He's like, it's a fake number. It's somebody playing on the phone or something he said, honey. You know he read from the man's handbook, okay? No matter what age, they give you that same old excuse. I don't know who that is. Well, who is it that's messaging you? Raymond? Who? Let me find out, honey. Let me find out you on seeking arrangements. So Karen grabs the phone. He's like, why you taking my phone? Typical man, okay? Karen calls the girl back. She's like, you have reached the Sprint PCS voicemail box of something. Karen was like, lady, honey, we're about to be celebrating our 25th wedding vow renewal, and we love each other, and he is my man, and the boy is mine. Shout out to Monica and Brandy. Child, listen, as long as he paying that tuition, your vow renewal will still be on. Moving forward, Candace is over at the house with her mama, and the video is over, finally. But Candace is over it, honey. She's ready for Dorothy to hit the road, Jack. Honey, she ready for her to go. And don't come back no more. she asked her mom, she said, what did Mia say? Because I heard that Mia was saying some things to you that were inappropriate. She was like, I heard Mia was saying some things. She was all in the Kool-Aid and really don't know the flavor. Now, she didn't say that, but I like to zhuzh it up. So Dorothy was like, well, she wasn't really asking me stuff like that, and I don't really remember what I said. Sure you don't, honey. So then they roll that beautiful bean footage and we see what you say. Honey, it be your own mama. So she's like, when you talking to everybody, you can't be remembering everything that you say. Lady, it was yesterday. Okay? You know exactly what you said, but you don't want no problems and you ain't got time for Candace to pull out that Kleenex, so you just gonna pretend you have amnesia. I got you. So she's like, I don't really believe it was in a place of malice. No, it was in a place of messy, in a place of nosy. So Candace was like, well, when Chris is around here being caught in the MGM with every other man, cat, and dog and billy goat all hours of the night, then they can ask questions. Now, how Ashley get into it? She wasn't even there. And let me tell you something. The reason why I'm assuming this is about Ashley is because Michael been the only one caught in hotel rooms in his drawers, honey. Allegedly. So Chris rolls up, because y'all know Miss Dorothy say he don't work. And he's like, what y'all talking about? You. So Candace said, well, Mia asked my mom if you're getting paid. So Chris is like, people don't really understand our relationship. So her mom is like, well, you said manager, and that is something that you have a contract for. So then he said, our marriage license and our prenup is our contract. Sure. She's like, oh, so you should say supportive husband then, because it could cause problems legally. And I think that's what Mia was concerned about. Mia was not concerned about Candace. Okay, ma'am, is Mia your daughter or is Candace? Okay, sure. So Chris is like, I've never asked you for a dime. You have never paid one bill that has Chris's name written on it. And Mama Dorothy, honey, she always give you a smirk to let it be known, honey, that's a lie. So Candace said, well, I'm all here for Mia being fun and whatnot, honey, but we don't need you here. You can go crack some backs over at Chiropractics and Strippers LLC. Oh, child, not the Stripper LLC. Oh, I'm not about to play with y'all. Moving forward, Mia and her family finally go for that ice cream, child, with her mama. And so Mia said, her mom is her sister's live-in nanny and her BFF from the sound of it, honey, because she said they do everything together. She's like, she needs to spread the love around. You have other children as well. And being that Mia was unable to really grow up having her mom present, I understand that. And it's completely normal in any household for you to have a little sibling rivalry and a little sibling jealousy when it comes to your parents. Because, it always feels like that one sibling is getting more attention than the other. So, it's kind of tough. So she tells her mom, she wanted her to come nanny for her, but because her sister needed it, instead she did it for her, because she felt like Mia was more self-sufficient. So her mom apologized and they're going to work on it. Now, y'all know what? I love that they are working on their relationship, but it is hilarious to me how they always throw this in during the most shadiest of episodes. Child, that sends me each and every time. I'm like, not Mia cultivating a relationship, honey, and then all of a sudden we see Gizelle at the Etch-a-Sketch house. Child, a fool. In the next scene, Karen in her car service and her velour sweatsuit, they go to visit Wendy and whatnot, and Wendy tells Karen about the business meeting with Eddie, or lack thereof. Karen tells her that Ladom 3-wick candles are coming out soon, not to be confused with your 1-wick and whatnot. And Wendy said, we can all be candlestick makers, honey, it's fine. It's okay. I'm not worried about Karen having a candle line. It's candles for everyone, honey, and we love a good candle. So Wendy tells Karen she wants to pull together some things for teachers to give back. Of course, Karen is all in. A scholar shows up. Yes, ma'am, honey. I see you with the HBCU grad shirt on. Honey, you better represent. I graduated from an HBCU as well. So she tells them that she has 2 kids under 2. And you know what? I would like to get to know a scholar a little bit better, especially after the dragarization that happened with Mia. I would really like to get to know who a scholar is, especially after she said that she was a teacher. So Wendy tells a scholar, about the care packages that she's making for the teachers, and she invited her because she was an educator for 10 years, right? And that made me like her even more. An HBCU grad and an educator, honey, I am here for a scholar for the time being, honey, because how these have to switch up on you in a minute. So she starts to explain the peanuts teachers are given and how she had to sometimes go in her own pocket to make things stretch. When I tell y'all I can attest to that, I can definitely relate, honey. That is why most educators have side hustles. So when y'all see those cash apps and those super chats, those are greatly appreciated. Moving forward. So they started talking about Mia going over to Dorothy to get all in Candace's business. So then they started talking about this shady Word document invite that Gizelle sent out. I was like, child, who put this together, child? You didn't have Canva? Honey, they give you Canva for free. Shout out to Canva. So anywho, they're talking about this shady invitation. A scholar wants to know if they're going or not. So Wendy was like, well, who's decorating Hotel Gizelle, honey? I hope it ain't her. Child, is definitely her, honey, with a little bit of help from her kids. So Wendy guessed that Robyn and Gizelle were doing a business venture together. That's why they're having this event. Child, it's that Sleepy Time podcast. And so Wendy is like, why is Gizelle being shady when we've all made up? Girl, it's written in her contract. Wendy, keep up. So Wendy suggests that they go for a weekend getaway up the coast. The men are invited as well, right? Oh, a whole weekend with Idris Elba? Baby, that is every woman's dream. Do y'all hear me? Baby, y'all better lock your doors if you're going to spend 48 hours with Idris Elba, okay? A scholar goes, well, is Juan coming? Here go Karen. Based on history, no. Y'all, I almost went into cardiac arrest. When I tell y'all I hollered so loud, I said I cannot stand Karen. It's like sometimes she says things and I know she's not trying to be funny, but it's so hilarious that I can't help but cackle. Child, Juan don't never come to nothing housewife related, okay? He's left that alone seasons ago, okay? When Ashley started getting all in his business and saying that he was seeing another woman, that's the last we really saw of Juan, and there's that. So she goes, well, who's going to be Gizelle's couple? Wendy said, oh, her luggage. Oh, my God. Child, not just her and her suitcase. Moving forward. It's the day of the hostel party. The hotel party. And she was trying to pick up the dirt around the cottage and dropped the table on her foot, and now she's wearing a boot. Child, be careful. They know you still working on the Etch-a-Sketch house. Ain't no need to sweep up the leaves and the dirt and whatnot, honey. It ain't no need for all that. So Gizelle is like, I have a beautiful tent for the ladies and some charcuterie. Girl, what? You mean charcuterie? Child, not no charcuterie. Girl, I am done. So she digging all in this food, honey, and her daughters are like, Mom, she's like, I'm just trying to make sure the food tastes good. Girl, it's going to be fine, honey. Oh, that's why I don't eat from open containers, because people just be digging their fingers all up and through the food. So the wind is making everything fly away, but her pretty daughters are making the party bearable, because it's decorated like it was done in 20 minutes. Ashley pulls up yelling, oh my God, the addition on the house. Ashley, get on over to where you're supposed to be, honey. The house already look ghetto. Then you hollering all out loud. Honey, oof. What would Nene say? Woo, child, the ghetto. Shout out to Nene Leaks. So anywho, Ashley is just so ecstatic, honey, because she has not seen this home since it was dilapidated. And now she's proud of the progress and whatnot. So here go Robyn. You haven't been here since then? Robyn, you're the only one that gets to come over to Gizelle's house. Please stop acting brand new. Moving forward. Mia gets there and she's like, is this a hotel? This could not be Hotel Gizelle. This has to be Motel Gizelle. Honey, that's the same thing I said. So then Mia goes, oh my gosh, your house is beautiful. You brought the living room outside. Oh my God. Mia. Girl, oh my gosh, this was the perfect title for this party. Reasonably shady, honey. These heifers are tripping. So Wendy rolls up and she's looking confused. She's tiptoeing and Robyn goes, welcome. So here go Wendy. Well, what am I welcome to? Child, that's what I was trying to figure out. Robyn was like, to our Reasonably Shady event. Child, it's about to be a shit show. Y'all hear me? So then Karen pulls up. Now let me tell y'all something. I'm going to go ahead and warn y'all now. I am going to holler after I state this line, okay? So you may want to turn whatever it is you're listening on, turn your device down just a notch. So Karen pulls up, right? Dressed most appropriately, honey, in some jeans for the great outdoors. And she's like, oh, what is this, a tent? Are we COVID testing? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, child. Honey, wait a minute. Let me give me a minute to gather my wig, y'all. Ooh, child. I watched that 16 times. I ain't lying to you. I hollered so loud when I initially saw it that my son ran in the room and he goes, Mom, is everything okay? I'm like, child, these heifers is tripping, honey. I'm fine. That was the funniest, shadiest line all season. Not the fact that you thought Gizelle's event was a COVID testing tent where they wear PPE and swab you. Girl, I'm done. When I tell y'all I hollered, oh, child, my heart palpitated and everything, child. That was a fool. So then she goes over and she presented and plugged Gizelle with her candle line. Child, you ain't fooling me. The whole time, the contractors continue working, kicking up dust. I'm like, okay, y'all hammering and whatnot in the middle of this event. Like, what is happening? Y'all know what this reminded me of? It reminded me of Kenya's housewarming when it wasn't all the way finished, honey, and Sheree came in there and aired everything out. There were no baseboards, honey. The handrails on the stairs didn't look sturdy. Child, it was a mess. So Gizelle was like, well, we're going to be making an announcement as soon as the other late heifers get here. So then I guess they couldn't wait no longer, and they started. So then Gizelle tells them that her and Robyn will be launching their Sleepy Time Reasonably Shady podcast. Everybody was like, oh my God, congratulations. Honey, it was so underwhelming. Our reaction too, child. Gizelle was like, so we're friends and now we're business partners and we haven't cussed each other out yet, have we? So Robyn said, well, this almost didn't happen. So they're like, ooh, child, give us the tea. Not y'all fighting. So what happened? She was like, it was just a little difference of opinion. So they were like, well, what was the difference of opinion? Come on, Robyn, spit it out. So Gizelle explains to them that my house is under construction and I wasn't going to let you heifers come in and pee. So Wendy goes, well, who was on that list? So Gizelle said, that would be you and Karen. That's beyond petty and pathetic. How dare you invite someone and not let them in to use the restroom? And if you decided you were going to be pretty and petty, you could have put a porta potty on the outside. And girl, I'm sure they've been banned from better, okay? And why would you even invite someone to mistreat them? It would have been at that moment that I would have gotten up and left and I would have kicked up dirt on my way out. Child would have lifted that whole tent up. But child, that's just how I behave. Wendy said, well, I wasn't going to come, so that's interesting. So Robyn was like, well, why weren't you going to come? Gizelle said, well, you talked about my home. And I was just waiting on production because, production will give you a flashback if there's any truth to what's being said. So I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. Absolutely nothing, honey. But we all have. You shouldn't have allowed us in there either, honey, even through the TV screen. We should not be allowed into your home until it's complete. And stop putting 3 and 4 tiny homes together to make one big home. Girl, just get your one big ready-made home and add something to it in the back or whatever. You just piecing it. Who is architecturally putting this home together? Because they need to be fired ASAP. So Wendy is like, I've never talked about your home. Gizelle said, oh no, but you did. You did talk about my home. Wendy said, no, I talked about the way that you dress. Flashback. oh my God. Let me tell y'all something. I love a good shady moment because, honey, sometimes I'm just talking and I'm just shady for no reason. Honey, I don't even realize I'm being shady, but the shade just jumps out. So I can only imagine when I get a little bit older, child. But when I tell y'all, every moment of this episode gave me life. This episode was pure entertainment and I loved it. If you have not seen it, please go take a look. Moving forward. So Wendy was like, oh, no, ma'am. Honey, I talked about the way you dressed. Well, honey, at least she owned it. Gizelle, you just don't like Wendy. Okay, just say it. Bottom line and the period. Point blank and the period. You don't like Wendy. Just say what it is. So Gizelle is like, yeah, you were on the hater list. Wendy said, hating on this? Honey, then she did a little chuckle and sat back a little bit. And then they panned out to show us the Etch-a-Sketch house. Production, okay? If you don't like Gizelle, just say that. Child, I'm done. Okay, Gizelle, now she has talked about your house, okay? Because I don't want you to get confused. She has talked about your home now. Robyn wants to know why Wendy wasn't going to come. She said because the invite was shady. Gizelle was like, well, it was supposed to be shady. It's a reasonably shady podcast. Wendy was like, well, how are we supposed to create context from that? Gizelle said, well, we came to the nude interlude and we didn't say nothing about that. The difference is that you and Wendy had no beef. She had no idea what she was walking into, especially with you. You cannot be trusted. Case in point, the lady was not going to be able to pee unless she went to the gas station down the street. Girl, are you new? Oh, child. So after hearing that, Wendy's energy kind of shifted, honey, as it should. So here go Robyn. She's acting kind of standoffish. And again, Y'all told her she was going to have to pee behind the bushes. Wouldn't your energy shift? So they start playing this reasonably shady game with these paddle boards, right? You have to answer reasonably or shady. So question number 1 was, is it okay to hold a grudge after you've made up? Well, with you heifers, honey, it's reasonable. Number 2, is it okay to talk about a friend behind their back? Shady. Wendy is like, well, that's not really a friend. Honey, perfect timing. Candace shows up. Okay, so we see Candace, she rolls in. Now, she hasn't gotten out yet, because when she get ready to get out, child, we gonna cackle. So Ashley held up reasonable. Honey, stay far away from that shady heifer. We knew you was gonna hold up reasonable, because all y'all do is talk behind each other's backs. So Gizelle is like, well, when I was talking about Eddie, that was reasonable. But you telling Candace what Mia said, that was shady. So let me get this straight. You talking about someone's marriage and their spouse potentially cheating on them, that was reasonable to talk about. But Wendy telling Candace that the people you invited here that you thought were for you are actually against you, because these heifers are over there talking about you. That's shady? Girl, get lost. Anywho, it was the wrong time, but it definitely was not shady at all. So Wendy said, no, you need to tell your friend what people are saying about her. Child, not y'all gonna turn Mia's wrongdoings into Wendy's fault. Child, this is a fool. Gaslighting all the way up and through. Do y'all hear me? So Mia's like, were you trying to throw her off? Wendy goes, if you feel bad about what you said, then you shouldn't have said it. Actually, Mia is the shady one in this scenario. Honey, but we know how y'all like to move. Moving forward. So y'all are gaslighting her once again. Okay? So child, then they pan over to Candace running like she's in Jumanji with these background noises and this music. And then she goes, oh, where are we, God? Oh my God. Oh child. Let me tell y'all something. I was sitting here thinking to myself, production this season is unmatched. I'm going to tell y'all something right now, Bravo. If y'all don't get the production and send them from Maryland or Potomac or DC or wherever they from down to the ATL, I'm going to be pissed. We need this same level of commitment in Atlanta. And I was sitting here thinking, girl, how long does it take for you to get from Giselle's driveway down to the house from where you parked? Honey, it's taking forever. She was literally running through this horror movie for like 45 minutes. Y'all know I'm being dramatic, but I like to zhuzh it up. So Wendy is singing and whatnot, and Karen is showing us the side effects of this vaccine. She's like, I don't know if this is reality or if all of this is actually happening, because honey, she's hallucinating. She's like, Giselle's whole house looks like it's gonna come alive and eat me up. Oh, child. Oh, Lord. This episode had me in stitches. From the dirt to the hallucinations to Candace taking 3 days to get there, honey, I am enjoying myself. So after 6 days, Candace finally gets to the tent. Robyn is like, we all tattle. Girl, not tattle. What are y'all, 6? So she sits down and she's like, so what did I miss? Gizelle is like, well, we'll catch you up. Robyn and I, we have a podcast where we're talking about your video shoot and whether or not Wendy was being shady or whack for telling you. So Candace is like, she wasn't being shady or whack. She was being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Shout out to the Golden Girls. So here go Robyn. Well, what if that upset you? Okay, Robyn, point taken, honey, but pipe down. So Wendy goes, but we don't need to speak on what ifs. We need to speak on facts. So Candace goes, if she didn't think it was an appropriate time to say it, she wouldn't have told me. Honey, we know y'all ain't used to loyal. We know it's foreign to you, okay? She was trying to be a good friend, so she went over there and told her what I was doing. Oh, Rob. So Mia goes, at that point, you're making it about you. And she kind of touched Wendy's shoulder. Wendy goes, don't touch my shoulder again. Ooh, child. Mia was like, well, you need to scoot over. Oh, child, don't y'all get to fighting now, honey. I can't take no more, honey. I do not want to have to go stop my reviews, child, for a little fisticuffs. I'm not in the mood for that, honey. Now, y'all acted a fool last season. Please, we do not have time for that. Moving forward, Candace is like, well, she told me, and my mom also said that you asked no longer than 5 seconds of meeting my mom, who was paying the bills, what does my boobs look like, and all of these questions. Everybody was like, what? What do your boobs look like? Candace, honey, you've been hanging with Gizzard for too long. She asks nothing about your boobs, honey. Oh, child. These heifers love to reach. So Mia said, the only question I asked is, who is the manager and who is getting paid? But why is that your business, girl? Why do you care about that? Candace said, so why was that an appropriate question to ask on a day special to me? Mia was like, girl, I volunteered to be an extra and nobody was there to greet me and you weren't there either. So Candace goes, you're not being paid. If you wanted to bounce, then you could have bounced. So Mia said, well, I wanted to be there, but for something that wasn't low budget. She did pay for the parking lot out of pocket. Child, what was she gonna do a drive back video about driving unless she used a parking lot? Y'all are killing me with that. Where else was she gonna do it? At a basketball court, honey? At the gym? Where was she gonna do it? At the mall? Honey, a parking lot was what she needed to use. Ashley's face at this moment was priceless. Do y'all hear me? So Candace goes, your mama is low budget. Oh my God. Candace always goes one step too far. Candace, now, honey, I know that's something we use in grade school. Your mama. I'm like, oh, honey, not a Dr. Heavenly moment. Because y'all know Dr. Heavenly over on Married to Medicine, honey, she'll hit you with a your mama in a minute. Honey, Mariah done heard her mama so many times. Child, it's a fool. But Candace, girl, honey, no, that wasn't the move. Honey, that was not the move. So Gizelle is like, talk about her hands and her feet because they're very large. But the mama is below the belt. Now I got a question for y'all. Is Gizelle body shaming Mia by saying her hands and her feet are big? They're large and in charge. Is she body shaming her? I just want to know, because I'm not trying to be funny or anything. I'm really trying to get a clear meaning on what body shaming is, because I think I know what it is, but some people disagree. So I just want to know what y'all think. In that moment, do you feel like Gizelle body shamed Mia? My philosophy is this, that you talk only about the person that is contracted to do this show. Okay? Mamas and children, they're off limits. So Mia said, you should have said thank you for me supporting you. She's like, supporting me? Supporting me is not asking my mama about my money. And I could kind of see that Candace wanted to cry, but she didn't pull out that Kleenex. Exactly, Mia. You were on some messy, nosy stuff, and Wendy brought it out. Point blank and the period. And that's on what? Michelle Obama. Moving forward. Ashley goes, you talked about it to the whole group, so why are you so upset? Candace said, were you there, beloved? End of story. Ashley, be quiet. Shut up. Every time I turn around, you are talking about something you were not privy to. You were not in the parking lot at this moment. You were not there when they gaslit Wendy that night and made her feel some kind of way about her boobage and all things Wendy. You were not there when things transpired between Monique and Candace last season. You were not there. Please be quiet and just sit back, girl. Just sit back. Oh, my God. Child, so then the mini versions of Gizelle and Karen, they start going at it, child. Candace and Ashley, now it's Karen and Gizelle 2.0 match in progress. So, child, they going back and forth and back. And Candace is back to calling Ashley wide face. Honey, I guess she felt she needed to leave the body alone today. Honey, I don't know, but the heifers were going back and forth. Candace said, so who else is asking questions? Who else wanted to know something? So Gizelle is like, well, Karen asked some questions. Wendy said, so why are you saying her name before you say your own? Honey, I know that's right. You better gather her, Professor Osefo. Moving forward. Lady, focus on what you said instead of trying to throw someone else under the bus. Gizelle is like, well, we were being shady. So Candace kind of just, laughed it off and smirked. Candace, honey, I don't understand why you never pipe up on Gizelle. I mean, I hear you saying a little something on the Twitter, but I never see you say anything to Gizelle. Are you afraid of her? Are you afraid you'll be iced out like they did Monique? Like, why are you not piping up? She said she was being shady. Don't just take that and shrug it off. But then when me or anybody else is getting into it as they get into it, it's something to be said. There's a lot of double standards happening here. So I'm just trying to figure out what's happening, okay? I'm going to need you to pipe up on Gizelle as well. But wait till you see this back, honey. I hope you got something to say at the reunion. So Candace goes, I actually defended you when these pros talked about you. Honey, not pros. And honey, she didn't call them pros. She called them something else. But I will not be saying that here on this channel. She said, how dare you call my stuff low budget? Just don't come. So Mia was like, okay, I won't. So Gizelle goes, so Gizelle said, let's get back to the game. She asked, is it reasonable or shady to call your friend when you're drunk and say how much you don't like them? Baby, the people say Karen day drinks and lets it all hang out, okay? They say she drunk dialing, drunk texting and everything, honey. She called Robyn and told Robyn that she prefers the company of Juan over Robyn. Child, I died. Robyn said, I actually prefer that Karen stay drunk. I like to see that because that's the only time she's honest. So then Gizelle goes, okay, look, I'm going to have you go ahead and take this question, Robyn, because Gizelle loves to throw Robyn under the bus, honey. Set her up, okay? So Robyn goes, is it reasonable or shady to be concerned about a friend's dramatic changes to their appearance after cheating rumors about their husband emerges? Okay, y'all ready to get ate up? Well, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. Gizelle loves to set Rob up. Didn't Wendy already gather y'all about mentioning her man? Didn't y'all learn the first time? And Robyn, I don't know why you would take that question knowing how you felt after Wendy went in on you. Like, this don't make no sense, child. Y'all let Gizelle get away with entirely too much. Gizelle, of course, she said reasonable. Wendy said, it would only be reasonable if the same blog that reported that didn't report you had an STD. A moment of silence. And we're back. Oh my God. Gizelle goes, and I don't. Child, well, nothing a little penicillin can't get rid of. So Wendy is like, y'all continue to talk about me even at Robyn's dinner. So Ashley is like, well, it wasn't like that. Robyn is like, Wendy, you need to chill. Wendy said, no, you need to chill. She's like, why do I need to chill? I'm talking like this. So Robyn is like, you're getting loud. You're getting aggressive. Girl, she's talking at the same tone that you are. It is really something wrong with y'all. Y'all really want to paint her as the aggressor. It is quite sad. And so par for the course, honey, just like you and Gizelle. So Candace starts singing, shady. Whole time Karen gone off that vaccine. Child, what did they put in yours, Karen? What did they put in your vaccine, honey? It looked like you took shrooms, honey, not the vaccine. Honey, let me find out. Child, so Karen gone off the vaccine. She over there leaning. She cannot believe that Candace is singing about being shady. Wendy and Robyn are yelling at each other. Honey, everything is imploding right before her eyes, and they're doing these special effects that make everybody seem like double themselves. Honey, it was a mess, child. So Robyn is like, you're being an asshole. So she's telling that to Wendy. Let me tell you something. I wish I would let Robyn pipe up on me like that in her snakeskin short set. Honey, I wish I would. Baby, you talk to me like that, you better be ready for a good old tongue lashing, because I do not play. Let me tell y'all something. I'm very friendly with words over here on this YouTube, but I will cut your up in real life. Moving forward. Candace was like, well, it was a good 40 minutes that y'all were talking about her. Robyn was like, it wasn't no 40 minutes. Because y'all know Robyn started to get real upset, honey, if you go against her or Gizelle. So Robyn goes, no, but we weren't talking about her like that. We were talking about the dynamic of her in this group. So whoever told her that, they didn't tell her the real message. So Ashley's scared to pipe up because she always gets shut down every single time she starts talking, honey. So she just pointing like, yeah, exactly. So Wendy is like, well, I'm not your child. Don't yell at me. Well, Robyn gets pissed and she's like, fuck Wendy. She's like, F it, Wendy, F it. I'm done. You're impossible. So she's impossible when she won't go along to get along. And you guys were talking about her for 40 minutes at a dinner that she was not even in attendance for. And she almost had to piss outside because your BFF does not deem her worthy of coming inside of the Etch-a-Sketch house. You're right. She's impossible. Girl, goodbye. So Wendy said, y'all have my number. So when y'all get on your soapbox with the theatrics, I'm not here for it, okay? When you say you're not getting through to me, no, you're not. Because if you wanted to get through to me, you could have called me and we could have had a one-on-one. Facts on facts on facts, facts. Gizelle pipes up. She's like, I'm confused. Wendy said, I didn't say to your ass. I'm like, oh, child. I said what I said to you in Williamsburg and I ain't changing it. Honey, I added that. She's like, it wasn't for you to receive. Ouch, honey, Gizelle. Honey, just sit there with your boot and be quiet, honey. Sit this one out. Y'all know this is a touchy subject for Wendy. Just sit this one out. So Gizelle is like, you know what, Wendy? Why don't you just go? Okay, we can back these cars out and you can go. So Candace gets up and she comes to sit next to Wendy, I guess to calm her down. She was like, you will not disrespect me in my house. Lady, okay, this isn't your house. But I know exactly what you mean, okay? So Karen is like, this is not your house. We're in the middle of the driveway. It's public property. Actually, Karen, it's private property, okay? It's still attached to her home. So, I mean, you know, I know you know, sometimes we're all a little bit off, but it's okay. Moving forward. A scholar comes out of nowhere, child, and she goes, the question was offensive, so you can't be mad at how she reacts, because, honey, a scholar has had enough. Do y'all hear me? Mia is like, who are you, the mediator? Mia, I know you ain't talking. Weren't you the one that was sitting there trying to pipe up for Gizelle and Robyn when they said something about the way that Wendy was dressing? Here you go. I just want to know if you remember this. Yes, I was a little bit concerned as well, because when I see someone dressing a little bit more provocatively, I oftentimes want to see what she's coming for. Remember that stupidity? I do, because I'll never forget it. Girl, how you gonna say she want to be a mediator when all you do is jump in? Girl, goodbye. So a scholar said, I'm gonna say what I want to say. Keep it cute over there, honey, and stay over there. Stay in your lane, honey. Keep it cute or keep it on mute. So Mia's like, well, you always come in. She's like, I'm going to say what I want to say while you talking over there under your breath. So Mia was like, I'm not talking under my breath. Baby, a scholar came out of nowhere. Now, you know it must be something going on. If a scholar comes out, honey, it'd be the quiet, observant ones that come for you when you didn't know they were about to be coming, honey. You didn't send for them, but they've come for you. She's like, I'm talking to Gizelle. Karen is like, well, can we take turns? So a scholar said, I suggest you sit down and be quiet with your ass. I said, oh, Lord. A scholar, not you too, honey. So Mia is like, insecure, just call other, just hoes. Candace said, so now I'm insecure. So I'm low budget and now I'm insecure. Well, she was talking to a scholar, but honey, a hit dog gonna holler. Karen said, Gizelle, where you going with this party, honey? Nowhere, absolutely nowhere. These heifers accomplished a shade fest, just like they wanted. Moving forward, Karen said, I did not get vaccinated to be around you heifers. Gizelle said, isn't it vaccinated? Girl, none of y'all know how to talk, honey, because didn't you just get through saying charcuterie? So child, just be quiet, honey. I don't know what's going on. So Karen was like, I don't care what it is. My arm hurts. Candace stands up with her hands open, projecting whatever on Mia. Then Karen goes, all I want to know is everybody invited to the girls' trip or not? Sorry to out you, Wendy, but I'm ready to get on back to the house. Okay, Ray may be sending text messages and whatnot. So Wendy said, yeah, I'm going to blame these outbursts on the side effects of the vaccine. Okay. You can't pronounce it either. It's vaccine. The C makes the K sound. Lord have mercy. So Wendy tells them that she wants to take them on a couple's trip since everybody talks about husbands and ain't got nobody. Here go Gizelle. She gonna hold up her shirt. Oh my God. Gizelle held up a shady paddle. I said, oh my God. Oh, I'm weak. Oh, I'm about to get weak. So Robyn playing on her phone, honey, acting like she don't hear nothing that's going on because she is completely over Wendy because Wendy would not allow her to gaslight her. So Robyn has checked out. So Wendy is like, I don't know if Michael will be there. Candace said, oh, child, I hope not. Child, neither do we. So then she says, Ray is going to be there. She didn't say nothing to Robyn. So Robyn was like, see, she's shading me and not even inviting me to the couple's trip, not even mentioning me and Juan. Didn't you say she wasn't invited to the wedding that wasn't happening? Girl, goodbye. So she's like, Eddie is going to be there. So then she looks at Gizelle and she goes, and your luggage will be there? Oh my God. Girl, the fact that you said this to this lady and still sat on her property has me cackling. I'm a savage. Huh? Classy, bougie, ratchet. Huh? Shout out to Megan Thee Stallion. Let me tell y'all something. That was the most savage that I have seen in a while. Not you gonna shade this woman. Not invite her to something that you are putting together, but Bravo is paying for. And then on top of that, look her directly in her eyes and tell her that her mate is going to be her luggage. Oh my God. Gizelle is like, I invited you and you acted stank. This is what she's saying in her confessional. And now the invite is stank? Oh no, thanks. I will not be in attendance. So the heifers disperse. Karen and Wendy, they ready to go, honey. I hope Karen can drive, child, because this has been something else for her. Gizelle takes Candace and a scholar to see her closet. Child, they took 2 steps and the scholar gonna say, oh no, ma'am. Honey, get a door on and I'll be back. So Karen says Candace needs to move her car because she hasn't blocked in, right? But the tour has just started, so Candace doesn't want it to end. So she gives Grace her keys to move her car. Honey, I hope you're in good hands with Allstate because Grace gonna tear that bumper off. Do you hear me? So the twins were looking at her like, oh my God, you trust Grace? Child, that's what I'm thinking. So Candace said, she's not gonna crash it, is she? She's like, Grace, you are not going to crash my car, are you? So then they flash back. And girl, she almost ran down a member of the camera crew. So you know she gonna tear your stuff up. So Grace comes outside to move the car, but she asks Robyn to help her. And I was like, aw, I thought that was so cute. Now let me tell you something. Robyn was so patient with Grace. She was like, turn your wheel just a little bit, straighten your wheel up. That was my favorite part of the episode. Even though these heifers can be shady, when Grace came outside and she was really looking forward to moving that car, but she needed a little bit of help and she asked Robyn, I thought that was so endearing. Child, that was so sweet to me. So Gizelle is like, well, I'm happy the heifers are gone and Candace's car is in one piece because Grace can't drive. Honey, she sure can't. But she ain't giving up, though. She'll get better. She just needs to get her confidence up, honey, and get a little bit more of the parking lot that Candace was driving back in, and she gonna be okay. Child, Candace comes out and notices that her tires that were black are now brown. A fool. And that was the end of the episode. Child, this episode was so good to me. And it was a supersized episode, so I gave y'all a supersized review. I hope you listened all the way through. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. It was so many good, shady, fun, laughable moments. It was good, okay? And if you didn't watch it, you need to head on over to the Bravo and check it out. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.